Well, good morning, grandkids. Well, gather around, sit down on the benches, or lean against the railing, and let's read another book today. I thought we would sit out here in the market area and just enjoy watching the people. I hope nobody will come by and bother us, though. Let us be able to tell our story in peace. Alright, today I thought I would read the story, The City of Stone. It's a Spell Sword's Guide to Markarth, and it's by Amanda Alia, a mercenary. When I first read that, I thought that was Alia of the companions, but it isn't. Alia. And it's what it looks like, it says anyway. So it's been a long time since I've been in Markarth, and this story is about Markarth, and it's shed a different light on it than what I realized. When I was there when I was younger, I just didn't see it this way. So maybe I'll make a trip back someday, I don't know, and see if I can see it this way. It really lays it out differently. Okay. If you're cutting your coins across Skyrim, you'll want to point your blade towards Markarth, the capital city of the Reach. There's no end of trouble in the City of Stone, and that means plenty of ways for you to earn your supper. Your sellsword instincts should point you towards the wealthiest patrons with the fattest purses to work for, but you need to mind yourself during your resting hours. It's kind of a bad place. Markarth isn't like your Whiterun, where mercenary companies like the Companions make a sellsword an honored professional. No, Markarth has its own rules. Rules that the natives aren't going to just tell you. Lucky for you, old Miss Alia is here to shine the torchlight over your thick skulls. First thing you'll notice in the City of Stone is the stone, of course. They say dwarves cut out the city from the mountain, and maybe they did by the looks of it. But what it really means is that the whole place is vertical, and the streets are really cliffs. Long story short, be careful when you've got a belly full of mead. You might fall off the side of a street and down the hill. When you enter the city proper, you'll immediately hit the market. The merchants usually sell food and jewelry on the streets. Yeah, it isn't much of a market. I think there's only 2 stalls there, if you want to call that a market. Meat is the preferred ration. The craggy rocks in the area make for poor farmland, and silver is what's used to make most of the rings and necklaces you might buy. Thanks to the large silver mine in the city. We'll get to that in a bit. Whatever you do, don't ask the Markarth city guard about anything. They're about as helpful as an angry frost spider while you're caught in its web. And if you mention anything about the Forsworn to them, they might spit in your eye. Speaking of the Forsworn, these wild men and women will be your main source of income while you're in Markarth. The Jarl almost always has a bounty on some Forsworn leader or another, and if you don't mind going blade to axe with someone 2 septums short of a pint of ale, it's steady work. She doesn't think they're very smart, huh? The Silverblade Inn is where you want to head into after seeing the market, and it's right there. The drinks are, as usual, watered down, and judging by the metallic taste, with water from the rivers that run through the city's smelter district. What's important here is getting a room to stay in. You won't find any friendly faces to con your way into a cheap place to stay in Markarth. The natives don't trust strangers. So save yourself the trouble and put down your coin to rent a real room. After you've spent a day recovering from travel, you'll see that Markarth is divided into two sides by the big crag in the center. See, and I never noticed that before when I was there. The part with the big river running through it is called the riverside, and the other is called the dry side. That's logical, isn't it? The riverside is where the smelter and the native workers live, so don't bother going there. Instead, head directly to the dry side and talk to the local Nord nobles and see what problems you can start solving at the highest rate. Two major places to see are the Temple of Dibella and the Sidna Mine. The temple rests on the top of the central crag, a good place to go if you're on good terms with the divines, but be warned, the priestesses of Dibella don't allow men into their inner sanctums, so don't go crashing down in there uninvited unless you want a short trip to a long fall. Man, you mean they'll drag you out of there and throw you over the side? Sidna Mine is the place where all the silver comes from that I mentioned before, but it's also the jail. Markarth uses prisoners to mine the ore, and there's a lot of it. So don't get caught doing something illegal in the city, or you'll be hauled down there to dig. Apparently, the whole place is owned by one of the big families in the city, the Silverbloods. Notice the name. Notice the inn is named after them. Always keep your sellsword eyes open for hints like that. I tried meeting with the head of the Silverblood family to see if they had any work, but guarding their mines isn't the blood rush I become a mercenary for. Something to keep in mind for yourself if you're thinking of staying a few months. It's no fun working down there in the mines, or being down there because you're thrown in jail. The final place I'll talk about here is Understone Keep, the home of the Jarl in Markarth. It's a fancy palace like any other, assuming your palace is built underground. But what you need to know is the city underneath the keep. Now see, I never realized when I was there that the Jarl's palace was built underground. I knew there was all kinds of rubble and destroyed parts. I always was thinking, why don't they ever clean this mess up? But I really didn't realize that it was built underground. But what you need to know is the city underneath the keep. I never knew there was a city underneath the keep. That's right, there's another city below Markarth, one of those old dwarven ruins. Oh, I think I've been in that. I just didn't realize that was considered a city underneath the city. They sometimes have expeditions in the ruins that makes for a good job guarding the scholars and maybe lifting a few stones here and there. If you're lucky, you might come across one of those old dwarven machines, and you can bring back a souvenir after you're done breaking it apart. I didn't know you could break one of those machines apart, and maybe you really can't. It's just in the storybook. Alright, Miss Aaliyah's hand is getting tired, and that means this guide is done. Last piece of advice, though. Don't cause trouble in Markarth. Don't start fights. Don't stop fights. Don't stick your head anywhere without someone from the city paying you for it. because believe me, no one in Markarth wants you there. Make your gold, drink your mead, see what's there to see, and move on. Nothing changes in the City of Stone, and that's just fine. Oh my goodness, we have sat here
I need someone to deliver a message
and
to
read
Sibby
clear
Blackbriar.
until evening. Now what do you want? Hey, I didn't invite you to sit down beside me.
Looking for work? I need someone to deliver a message to Sibby Blackbriar.
No, I'm not looking for work. Alright, kids, let's mosey on back home. Mosey? Let's run back home.
Divines bless you. May the ground you walk
Grow
quake
back
as
that
you
missing
pass.
limb with my genuine Falmer blood elixir.
Everybody's still kind of busy out here, aren't they? Oops, I should have went over there. Oh, look, my little jack-o'-lanterns are lit. Inigo, where are you at? Oh, you're just sitting in here? Well, the kids have come, we've read a story, and they've all left. So what are you up to? I think I'll go in here and cook us some dinner. What do you think? All right, grandkids, that's the end of this reading time. And I will see you the next time you come. Be good to one another. Be sweet. And I will see you all next time. Bye-bye.